that it sprang out of nothing.
Right. We're just
Big Bang cosmology
Right.
doesn't assert that everything sprang out of nothing.
Yeah, but that's the reason, though, is that Jesus had to die was to open the way for mankind to go into heaven. The veil of the temple was rent in two from top to bottom when that Jesus died on the cross.
Why did it have to be
Okay.
that way?
Well, it opened the way to heaven.
I know, and I didn't ask what it
because
did. I asked why was there no other way than for God to sacrifice himself to himself?
Why was there no other way for God to sacrifice himself?
No, basically what happened is you're saying that Satan screwed up God's plans, and God used Jesus. Was Jesus God? I don't know, in your opinion, was Jesus actually God?
Yes.
Okay, so God came down in human form to thwart Satan, to outmaneuver him, and sacrifice himself to himself. Why was that the only way to accomplish this? Why is a blood sacrifice, what's so magical about blood? And why does God like the smell of blood so much?
Well, I wouldn't say that he likes the smell of blood. He says sacrificing and offerings I didn't want.
That's
but in
odd,
all
though,
the
Stan,
legal
because now you've got two
ins and
things.
outs there, we don't really have a good understanding. But we do know that that's what opened the way to heaven when the veil was opened to the Holy of Holies.
No, we don't know that. We don't know that. You're asserting it. And oddly enough, you're asserting these things.
I'm asserting from my biblical knowledge.
Okay, if you want to talk about biblical knowledge, that's the point I'm getting to. You're asserting these things in contradiction to what's in the Bible. Because in the Bible, in Isaiah, you have God saying that I, the Lord, create all things good and evil. And it specifically states that Satan was one of God's creations. As a matter of fact, Satan was God's, Lucifer's, it's in Isaiah. I mean,
actually, that part talking about the king of Babylon, it has nothing to do with Satan there. It's
the other thing is that in the Old Testament, it specifically says that blood sacrifices were made and the odor was pleasing to Yahweh. So God likes the smell of blood. Blood sacrifice became the tradition, and Jesus was used as the new blood sacrifice. My question goes a step further. Why does this God seem to have a sick fascination with the smell of blood? What magical power is there in this that relinquishes a sin? If he's making the rules, he could have made any loophole or any pathway to circumvent the rules. For example, if I say the rule is you're not allowed to go out after dark, and if I find that you snuck out, I have a variety of ways for you to make amends for this, including potential punishments of you're grounded or you're going to lose part of your allowance or other things. But this God specifically chose to say, if you violate these things, what I want you to do is go take another one of my creations, place it on an altar, slice it open, gut it, and burn it so that I can smell it, and this will alleviate your sin. Now, why does that system make sense, and a more reasonable system, at least to me, is not used?
Well, for one, the sacrifices and things only pointed to what Jesus would do, and so that's probably why those things were initiated, because they pointed to what Jesus would ultimately do, was sacrifice himself. Now, why the
so they were all
ins and outs of that, we're not, I don't know for sure, but we don't know all the details there. But we do know that when Jesus died on the cross, that opened the way for humankind
to
go to heaven.
How do you know that? Because I don't even know that he existed or that he died. So you're saying that you know when he died, it opened...
If you believe the Bible or not.
Okay, if you believe the Bible, then you can claim to know it.
And I do. So.
Okay, I don't think that believing the Bible is sufficient for claiming knowledge. Now, you may believe that Jesus opened the pathway.
If you don't believe it, it's not. But if you do, then that changes everything. So, and that's where you guys kind of draw the line. You don't believe this Bible is credible.
Yeah, and I'm wondering why anybody would.
Well, if one does, though, and one believes it's credible, then that changes everything for that person. And so when you, in your belief system, decide that you don't believe something, then that changes everything for you, and now you don't believe in a God. And so your kind of religion is to have no God. And so you guys have kind of created a religion
No.
of your own.
No.
Sure.
There's no dog.